see. I probably should title my stream. Well, I'm about to start my stream in just a second. So I'm going to paint either this one or maybe this one. Might just finish this series off and finish that one up, but maybe I'll do this one. We'll see what people are interested in doing. Suppose I could play some music. Let's see. Do do do. Let's see. About to start. Any ideas on which one I should paint? This one or this one? I've got a bit of a render here. I could pull up kind of the process I did to get to this point. Maybe sometime I'll stream that process too. Let's see. Let me find the right file. Okay, so I did save a few process pieces. Like here's the rough file I was building up in Maya. And then changed it around a little bit, stayed with the same composition. I did start with a basic sketch, but I just modeled it out, so I didn't have to worry about the perspective or anything like that. And there's the base textures that I applied to everything, and then I actually added some mountains in the background, and then I did a render in Mental Ray, and that got me to where I am right now. So now I just have to move on to the painting step. I also am streaming on YouTube, I think. I just got it set up, so let's see. Pretty sure it's working. Yeah, it seems to be working. So that's just a test. And I can post the address. Let me grab it really quick. So there's that process. So any preferences? Should I do this one? Kind of something a little bit different? Or this one? I think I might just finish this one. Yeah, I'll just finish this one up. Finish the last in the series. Well, maybe not last, but one of the series pieces. So I did do a few different renders. I did the mountain back here, some grass I had textured, and then I did a foreground render, and here's without the texture. Well, with just like a stone texture that I threw over it. So I'm going to leave that over there. I'll probably just use that with the alpha layers and things like that. Maybe I'll add a curve layer, stack it on top of here, and adjust the lighting just a little bit. And I'm going to go and grab let's see. I'm going to grab a texture for clouds. Well, basically just like some photos that I took. I'll throw that in there. My computer's running a little slow today. Not sure why. Could try something like that. I have some other like kind of more dusk photos sometimes that I could use. Even like sometimes my brothers will send me stuff, but I think this is a little bit too different of lighting than what I actually want. That's pretty cool though. I will use something like that someday. Though I could do... I'll try this one. Kind of like this big fluffy cloud. I took this actually while I was think I was going to grab some food at lunch break. It was right above the grocery store, and I was like, ooh, that's a nice cloud. I'm always getting pictures of clouds for reference and such. And always bugging my girlfriend to take pictures while I'm driving. But I am driving though, so I'm not being too lazy. She says that doesn't bug her, but on the spot, might beg to differ. Okay, now I'm gonna put a mask layer on the mountains back here. I'm just gonna start painting out the grass, because I don't want it to go up all the way up the mountain. I might grab a reference picture for that as well. Let me pull up my reference program. I use a program called PureRef. It's really nice for reference stuff. I highly recommend it. It's you can put multiple images, I'll stack them all up on the same in the same folder and everything. And then just you can scale them and rotate them all over the place. It's really nice. Might have to add like a curves layer to the gray as well. It seems a little bit too dark. Pop that on there. Go back to my mask and start kind of painting away in the back here. I don't want to do too much of this right to start, but I think a little bit will help it kind of break up that large area in the background. And this is just to kind of get this first bit going here. You can see where I like my repeated texture that I placed on that, just kind of repeating over into the corner. I didn't bother. I could have done a seamless texture, but I wasn't too worried. I was going to paint over so much of it anyways, it doesn't really matter. I'm actually thinking like I could use some of these areas to sort of create lines to bring focus to this specific area. I'll probably jump over and just start working on the rest of the painting now. Let's see. Oh yeah, I should pause my Dropbox so it's not continuously syncing. I run most of my files off Dropbox just so I can easily access them anywhere. Just before I got on the stream, I actually made some banana bread, and it just finished. It smells amazing. I'll need to find some more audio to put instead of just all the same Twitch stream list. How does everyone feel about face cams? Is that a plus to a channel? I feel like it'd be weird to have my face up all the time. But for one thing, I know I'd have to wear pants. But yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll get a camera. I could use I had a friend of mine, he said he was using, he might be on here. He was Ember81. He does Counter-Strike streaming. He uses his Android, I believe. as his streaming device, or as his camera. That seems to work pretty well for him. Whoops. But yeah, so maybe I'll do the whole camera thing. Maybe not. I don't know. Probably eventually. I am working on. I'm gonna get. Hopefully, if my Patreon can fund me enough, I might get a better mic. That's my next goal. So right now my mic's pretty. It's just like a regular gaming mic or whatever. Doesn't really have. Oops, dropped my sketchbook. Doesn't really have the best audio quality, and I'm sure there's a lot of background noise. So I appreciate people for staying there, sticking around. Hey Nate, welcome back. Good to have you here. I had you missed the beginning. I don't know if you were here earlier. I was trying to decide what to paint. I had two different basic renders I was going to start with, and I ended up deciding with this one. So you missed the choosing process. Nobody said anything, so I made the ultimate decision, the ultimate sacrifice, or something. Right now I'm just kind of going through and breaking up all this stuff because it's so perfect looking from being modeled, and like I didn't put a ton of time into modeling it. And I'm going back and I'm referencing my sketch right now too. I'm just trying to get things roughed up a little bit more worn. I'm just breaking some cracks and stuff. Way above your clearance. You need higher clearance for such decisions. Hopefully everyone's out of the harm's way with that storm that's passing through. It's supposed to come over the Charleston area where I'm at and wreak some havoc. Hopefully it just passes over. Went and bought a bunch of food to prep for the storm. Last time I live on like an island, and last time there was a storm coming, my girlfriend and I weren't paying attention at all, and we just went out and bought a bunch of candy, and everyone else was like buying milk and eggs and all that, the basics and whatnot, and bread, and we just bought like just a buttload of candy. And then we realized there was a storm, and we were stuck on the island it's a decent sized island, but all the stores were closed, and we were stuck on the island for about a few days. Luckily it didn't like flood over or anything, but it was funny. Luckily we had food as well, and that wasn't an issue. So this time we're like, wait, this time we should actually, get some snacks and supplies, and not just snacks, more like supplies this time. I have one of the Steven Universe songs stuck in my head, and it's just looping over and over. And I need to get it out of my mind. Although the music in that show is so good, but I've got the one song where it's like jamming on these tasty preserves. Do do do. Do 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 do. Something like that. But yeah. So I'll probably have that stuck in my head until something else comes along. You working on your 3D modeling again, Nate? You're just taking a break from that. I don't think so. I think. Oh, it's so good. You gotta watch it. It's. I think it's on some streaming services. I'm not really sure. Might even have it on. What is that? I know it's on. I think it was on Hulu. I don't know how many seasons are on Hulu. So you could check there. And there was another. I think it might even be on Cartoon Network. I think they were just streaming it for free, but not like a ton of episodes, just a few at a time. It's a gorgeous show, though. I highly recommend watching it, and it has a lot of heart to it, and a lot of I don't know, just relatable stories and stories that actually have impact. It's not like most cartoons where it's just kind of like, this is what happens. I mean, they still do that, but super good. Really good music, too. I really like it because it has really colorful environments. Well, that's one of the many reasons that I really like it. Hey, Rocket. How's it going? Thanks for stopping by. We were just talking about some Steven Universe. And what a great show it is. They release their episodes in like chunks. It's kind of interesting. Like, I think they call them Steven Bombs or something like that. Well, that's good. Fighting the tired. I'm always fighting the tired. And I don't drink any caffeine. It makes me too energized and I just get like shaky. Opening it is the first step, sometimes the hardest. A lot of times I'll open whatever I'm going to work on, just leave it open for a long time. Yeah, links are allowed here. And hello, Critical Mammal. I think, yeah, there you go. Also, check out the pilot. The pilot's animation is very different. When I first saw it, I wasn't a big fan, but now going back to it, actually kind of, I don't know if I prefer it, but it's really cool. It has a very distinct, unique style. It probably wouldn't have been as popular because maybe people wouldn't have liked that style as much, but it's super cool. It's yeah, it's super good pilot. Do you think it would have been as successful if it had aired with that art style? Or do you think the newer art style is more successful, or gave it more success, I guess I could say? Yeah, the new ones has a lot of universal appeal. Steven universal appeal. Heh, that was a terrible joke. I should check to see if ArtStation is picking up on my stream. Let's see. Huh. Doesn't seem like it is. I wonder. Let me check my title. That's in the title. I wonder why it's not showing up. Let's see. I'm gonna check that really quick. I'm using Restream. I wonder if something from that's messing it up. Wait, are you talking about Steam Universe and Undertale? Or are you saying that, are you just talking about Undertale as a separate thing? I looked away for a little bit there. Lost track of things. Oh, is there? Oh, I didn't know that. I have not played Undertale yet. Well, I don't know if I will or not. Sounds like a very long game. I tend to play shorter games. I'm probably one of the few people that enjoys shorter games versus longer games, because I can actually complete them. This seemed like a more condensed experience as well. Oh, that's strange. It has a big following behind it. Have you played the what is it? The games that are really inspired by Mothership, I think. The Mothership series, I believe. Which I haven't played that either, but oh, maybe it's just called Mother. The Mother series. Yeah, it's not called Mothership, is it? Just Mother. That sounds more accurate. Yeah, Earthbound. Isn't it a particular game is called Earthbound, and then the series itself is called Mother? Welcome back. Well, thanks for stopping by, though. Have a good evening. I'll be here every Thursday. At least that's the plan right now. Is music still playing? I actually turned my... Oh yeah, it is. I know there was a 64 game for that series that never got released and people always wanted it. It was originally planned for like the 64D drive. But that never got released either. I might do a texture overlay really quick. Grab my Old Faithful. Put it in a folder. Set I think soft light. Just toss it over everything. And then mask it. Yeah, it was a 64 disk drive, so it was, if you look at the 64, it was designed to stack to have other stuff stack underneath it. It has like little foots and stuff to stack into things, and there's even like some plugs and stuff underneath it. And they had it developed, and they had a few games made for it. They just never released it. Or well, they might have released it in Japan, but it was a pretty big flop. And I think originally Ocarina of Time was going to be on it as well. But if I remember, there was only like one or two games. There was like Dulcine Giant or something like that was one of them. The Earthbound series, that was supposed to be one. And there's a few other ones, but I don't remember them all. Oops. I have a few little spots that I accidentally left some of the mask out of. Yeah, they kind of repeatedly do that. They just had an announcement. It was one of their Nintendo Directs, but there wasn't a ton of stuff that I was interested in, like Woolly World and whatnot for 3DS. A lot of it was a 3DS announcement, but a lot of the games I already own, like the Wii U versions of them, like the Mario Maker, which I guess I don't own that one, but so I wasn't very interested because I'd rather play it on probably rather play it on the Wii U anyways, unless it's specific to the 3DS. Then of course I'd like the 3DS version. Yeah, it was just a bunch of ports for the 3DS, sadly. I did really like the 64. It's one of my favorite systems, that and like the Dreamcast and stuff. But the frame rate doesn't stand the test of time so well. I tried playing Majora's Mask with a friend a little bit ago, and it did not run so well. There was like almost unplayable boss fights and stuff. But yeah, it's still a fun game, just not my fave. Let's see. Oh yeah, 4 players really makes it chug. Especially if you play with any kind of explosive weapons, rockets or something like that. It just goes nuts. It is such a fun game though. Hang on a second, I gotta pull up my old painting from last week. I'm gonna put that up on my reference folder side. Just checking to see what I did. Yeah, I don't think anyone really, maybe PC gamers might have noticed, I don't know. Everyone was used to such a lower frame rate. It's kind of like being able to play multiplayer games online on a 56K. Which I didn't do very much of. I did play a little bit of Counter-Strike and some Unreal Tournament, but mainly I just played against bots. So my internet was 56K, but it was supposed to be, but only connected at like 28K. It was so slow. We just had really bad phone lines. And I lived out in the middle of nowhere, so that probably didn't help. Yeah, times have indeed changed. Now my internet's fast enough to stream. I remember the first time I used the internet, I was really disappointed. I expected basically what the internet is now today, and I think the first time I'd used it was probably around 1997 or something like that, and such a disappointment. Like I remember looking up, I was like, oh, I bet I could just go online and play MechWarrior 2. Nope, couldn't do anything. It was just, I went to the website and it took forever to load, couldn't even see anything. It was such a big disappointment. So I guess the internet's finally caught up to what I thought it would have been. It took like 15 years or whatever. Does anyone have any good first internet use times? Or first internet experience? A lot of people probably just take it for granted now, I suppose. Oh yeah, the old pure text guides. Well, they worked. I remember this ties back into GoldenEye, but my friend and I were playing, and we just, hey Mumbles, how's it going, brother? But I remember my friend and I were playing GoldenEye, and we didn't believe that you could actually beat the facility. It was under like a minute and 20 or something like that, and that's how you got the invincibility cheat unlock. And we found like this tiniest video. It must have been like probably 160 resolution or something. And yeah, they beat it. So then we learned some stuff on how to beat it and went through and did it. Stream's going well. Just doing some painting, talking about our first internet experience, what we remember. I don't know if you have any. Oh man, EverQuest, that's the original MOBA. Not MOBA, sorry, MMO. I never played that too much. Diablo 2 is your Yeah. Diablo 1 might have been my first online game, maybe? I'm not sure. Diablo, well, it could have been original Half-Life, like the Half-Life combat. Yeah, Diablo 2 was great. And it's still my favorite Diablo. Once in a while I go back and play it still. Had a lot of really good build variation and stuff that you could do that the new one doesn't seem to have. And you had to really commit to stuff when you choose a build in that game. And I think that's what really made it shine. That and all the different builds you could make. Yeah, I remember people trying to scam me. Or then people would try getting you to, back when I think Diablo 2 before the expansion, you'd be playing, and if you died, and then before you picked up your corpse and all your items, if your inventory was full and you died again, all your items would just explode out onto the ground. Yeah, I'm sure all their evil Diablo 2 doings caught up to them eventually. I'm trying to remember if anyone scammed me or not. Yeah, it probably worked out great for them. So now they're just scamming people on a larger scale. Diablo 2 taught them what they needed to know for being successful businessmen. the perfect foundation and asshole skills. Seven. And proof that you stole them. Wasn't the SOJ not even a real item? Well, there was a real version of it, but then later there was a fake version of it that was everywhere. It was like someone took the Oculus orb that the sorceress used and combined it with an SOJ, and it was just ridiculously good. But I don't remember. I think that's what it was. There's a few items I never did get in that game. Like the armor that every Hammerdin used ever. The what was it? I don't know what it was called. You could teleport. Any character could teleport. Super overpowered. Oh yeah, Enigma. Never did get the Enigma. It was an enigma to me. I remember when I first got Diablo 2 was near when it was released. I played up to like I think maybe Act 2, something like that. And then I, like you, Nate, I had no idea what I was doing, and I was just like terrible at the game because I made like the worst build anyone could ever build. So the downfalls of Diablo, and I just stopped playing forever. And then I think I don't know, I read some more reviews on it or something, maybe the PC Gamer review, and I was like, I'm gonna give it another shot. And so I took my Amazon that I had been using like a pike for, and I started using a bow, and I changed her into a boazon, and it was a lot easier, I guess, or it was more doable. And then from there, I got hooked to the game for a long time. Yeah, the skeletons. I was trying to kill all these like hundreds of skeletons with just like a single pike stab, and it's going stab, 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 and it did not work. It was the worst. I think I ended up finding like Saigon's gloves or something like that, and then I was able to play and actually do pretty well. Let me know if the yeah, I want to play. It makes me want to kind of play too. Let me know if the music's too awful. I have it turned way down so I don't even hear it. Just kind of like a little bit of background noise. Yeah, it's always fun to jump back, play some Diablo 2 every once in a while. Should probably start adding the patterns to this. Then do a new layer and do overlay. This music sounds pretty terrible. Let's see. Thought there was like some this atmosphere. My computer is not running very well. This list is huge with nothing in it. Album. I guess we'll just listen to this. They probably will remake. Well, I don't know if they'll remake Diablo 2. That'd be cool if they did. That's what everyone wants. I'd probably buy that right away. Well, maybe. Yeah, I'd probably buy it right away. If they made a Diablo 2 HD version, just using the Diablo 3 engine, that would be pretty sweet. Right. Something seems off about these. The next 100 years. They'll open a series of grocery stores across cold markets. They'll start a refrigerator company. Blizzard, where we keep your food frozen. What are some of those predictions? They do like to take their time. But that's good. I mean, they have a very high success rate because they like to take their time. And they don't release things that aren't good, but they also have the money to do that. Yeah, I can see Warcraft 4. I'm surprised they didn't do like a new version of World of Warcraft. Some sort of... I guess they kind of did upgrade the visuals for it. I suppose that's what Overwatch was originally going to be. The whole Titan game thing that they were talking about for the longest time. Aren't they doing StarCraft 1 HD using the newest StarCraft engine? Oh, no wonder my music's going all over the place. It's on shuffle. I thought it was on repeat. Yeah, they'll probably support it as long as there's a decent, what, like a few million people playing it still. I don't even know how many people are playing it now. Yeah, World of Warcraft. I was at a fast food restaurant earlier today, and there was a guy sitting there, and we assumed he was working, and he was actually just playing World of Warcraft. You started playing World of Warcraft, Mumbles? I don't know if I have time to play a MMO. And like I said before, the only one I've ever liked was Star Wars Galaxies, or like really liked. Which I guess they have some servers. Some fans got the old servers up again. So that could be cool. I didn't even know you had to buy World of Warcraft. Well, I guess the expansions, maybe. I thought they were mostly free. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just get the art books instead. Oh, okay. Not even the expansions you don't get free playtime? Hmm. Seems like they at least give you a month. I always like the Draenor character designs. But by the time I played, the Draenor were gone. Or no, the Draenor didn't even exist when I played. I had already stopped playing by the time those came along. This always makes me think of Star Wars. He doesn't like you. I don't like you either. I watched the original. Oh wait, I drew that too far down. The original Wrath of Khan last night. I guess there's not really necessarily a remake of it yet, but though I fell asleep. But still a great movie. So many lines to draw. Suppose I could have did like a just drew one and duplicated it out everywhere. Not really sure why I didn't do that. It's too late now. Yeah. I think I might be wrong. It was Wrath of Khan was one of the first movies to have CGI in it. Or was the first. Or maybe it was that one movie, it was like there's like a stained glass night or something. Yeah, it's amazing how few cuts there are in older movies. They just run at such a slower pace too. Which isn't bad, but I think I would have fallen asleep in any movie, didn't matter what it was. Okay, you can probably tell an age of a movie by how many cuts it has. At least for kind of your standard Hollywood movies. Yeah, that's true. And I save money on not buying caffeine. Once in a while I'll get it, but I'll just like jitter all over the place and be way too hyper. So it's usually a bad idea. My brother's seen me on caffeine. It's never a great thing. some point I'm gonna have to take a banana bread break. The banana bread sounds so good. Is that why people drink decaf? So it's just a little bit less? Well, I don't even like the taste of plain coffee, so. Decafed my ass. What do I get? I get just like my hands start shaking. I get like super duper hyper. Really goofy, I guess. It's not like terrible or anything, but. I get annoying, is probably what I get. Oh, yeah, then the sugar will get me. I usually just save coffee and stuff for driving because I get sleepy when I drive, so. Like, I just drove to Florida. It's like a 7-hour trip. I drove a little bit more than half there and back. My girlfriend drove a chunk too, but yeah, so sleepy. Oops. That's true, it's probably better for you when it's black. I'll be right back. 1 second here. I'm gonna eat some banana bread. Super important. Okay, I'm back. That banana bread was so dang good. How's the Battlefield 1 beta? Seems like I've bought all the battlefields, but I never really play them that much. So I'm most likely going to skip out on this one. Unless it's revolutionary. Yeah, they always do look pretty. To me, they've always been more pretty than fun. But maybe I probably just don't put enough time into them because they're pretty tough to be good in. Is the beta just for this weekend, or? I guess you could say it's an art form, maybe? I don't know. I suppose if you're playing creatively. It's definitely a skill, and art's a skill. So by that logic, I suppose, yeah. Is the sky blue? I don't know. It's a good question. The transitive property? What's that? If A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. Okay. Huh. My schooling's an interesting experience. I also don't remember much of it. I was homeschooled for a large chunk of my life, actually. Which wasn't bad, but it was probably too easy to cheat on your homework. I didn't cheat, but it just wasn't much competition. cheat on your homework. Wasn't college just learning how to cheat? Guess it depends on what counts as cheating. Efficiency. That's another good way of approaching it. I probably would have had more fun if I would have just not done as much homework. I did a lot of homework in college. I remember getting invited out to stuff and being like, oh, I gotta read all of the Lord of the Rings for my English class. Because I had an English class all on Tolkien. So I read all the Lord of the Rings, the Silmarillion, the Hobbit, and a bunch of Tolkien's short stories. It was a lot of reading. But it was a really interesting class, though. I learned about like the language he made up for the elves and such that was based on part of an existing language, so he made up part of it or added to it and modified it. Some old language. But I don't remember exactly what the details were. Nate, were you able to get yourself to work on your 3D modeling at all? Or still trying to convince yourself? Oh yeah. I actually was today I worked on a little bit of ZBrush. I was re-typologizing something. Almost opened D3. But yeah, I was re-typologizing something, making like a medium low poly character. I don't know, maybe I'll go back and do that. We will see. I do have a bunch of freelance I have to work on too, though, so probably should work on that before I do any personal work other than my stream. I did put a lot of hours into D3. It had some pretty fun parts to it. I just didn't think I had the staying power that Diablo 2 did. Nate, did you look into that curvature baking? I think it'll be really helpful for you. Yeah, I did 1 or 2 season characters as well. Yeah, it's super helpful to get just like a base color down, and you can do overlays on top of that and whatnot. I'm not going to put anything on there. Yeah, it seems like they're trying to make the leveling process a lot easier, so you can just kind of focus on the loot and the later level stuff. That's kind of what they did with WoW too, I think. Mumbles, did they, for when you're playing WoW, did you start with like just a base character, or did you start with like a higher level character or anything like that? What level did you end up getting to? The instant level. I was watching Guild Grumps, and it was the Game Grumps guys, but they were like doing a reality show where they're being forced to play WoW or something. And it was pretty funny. Because the guys spent like $700 on just mounts, and they were like, oh, we don't even like those mounts. Max is 110 now? Is Max 110 for Legion update? Wow, that's crazy. It was 60 when I played. When I was a kid, World of Warcraft was max level was 60. That's the future of WoW right there. Their character level will get to like 1,000. Or the future of Blizzard does keep upping the character level. They'll get it up to over 9,000. All the mashups. Silent fart. You could have called him SBD. The silent but deadly troll. You go to college. Just think that'll be forever encased in this video because it'll be in the stream. All that good sentencing you just did. But so is all mine with all my speaking and terrible sentence structure sometimes. Oh well. But what if someone hacks into the spell check? What will you do then? Where will your spell check God be then? Oh, that sentence was pretty terrible. I can't quite speak. Probably distracted by the idea of banana bread just in the room next door. It tasked me. Grammar will crash. They hacked into the grammar. Which grammars? All of them. I'm just full of terrible jokes tonight. Oh, I got to play the what's it? The ukulele toy box, just for a minute or two. It was pretty cool. It's kind of like the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie from a lot of the Rare team that worked on that, and they switched over. Now they're called Platonic, I believe. They had a Kickstarter for it a while back, and it looks really cool. And it played really nice too. A friend of mine was looking in the code, and they already had a lot of jokes in the code and such. Classic Rareware humor. I don't know when that comes out though. Has a lot of potential though. Hey, you should check it out. You had to be a backer, I think, to get the play box, which is just like a demo area. You can kind of run around and test out the... it's called ukulele. You could just probably look up Platonic would be easier because I always forget how to spell ukulele. Or Platonic Games or something. That's probably almost enough for all these rocks. Pop that out so it looks... oh yeah, I gotta separate out these areas a little bit. Break up these edges a little. Seems like that's most of my painting. Yeah, ukulele. Exactly. Why did I end that there? Huh. That looks like a bit of a mistake. Played through the Banjo-Kazooie, just plain Banjo-Kazooie recently. It was really good. Had some super annoying stuff with the camera. But I did play on the Xbox, so maybe the modified version just had worse camera controls or worse camera. It's the HD version. I don't know if it actually had different controls and different camera controls or not. It seemed like it did, but rose-tinted nostalgia eyes and all that could have been misleading. You haven't played Banjo-Kazooie before? Oh, it's crazy. Should check it out. Don't play on an original 64. It runs so bad. It's probably either emulate it or I'm not promoting piracy or anything, but you know, if you own the game, you can emulate it legally, I think. Either emulate it or play on a 3DS, because the frame rate so bad. I don't know if you remember the bubble boss. I could barely beat it because the frame rate was probably down to like 5 frames a second. Probably less than that actually. It was like a slideshow. Same with the first boss. It was brutal. I've always been a bit more of a fan of Ocarina of Time. Probably because the time limit in Majora's Mask always annoyed me so much. Yeah, playing Ocarina of Time. That was a fun playthrough. I've beaten that game so many times, but I think it's just kind of a relaxing journey to play through it. And it's strange because sometimes things will act a little bit differently than all the previous times I've played through it. There've been a few bosses that I've fought repeatedly, and then like this one time I fight them and it's super hard for some reason. Well, I can't remember if I already asked this or not, but what does everyone think about face cam? Should I get a face cam? Show my beard off on the stream? Or keep it all just about the art and no faces? Middle click on Chrome, it closes what? Oh, it closes the tab? Beard stream. I just don't know how I feel because I'm never a huge fan of. Well, I guess sometimes face cam's alright, but I don't usually watch people in face cam. Although I guess I My friend was streaming the other day and it was fun watching him. Does the camera actually seem to grow the stream size? I mean, the amount of people to show up? I don't know why, it just seems weird to me that more people would show up if you had face or camera. Yeah, maybe I'll try it next time. I think I'll try that app that my friend was mentioning and just use my phone to start with. Test it out. Hmm. I wonder if people actually like get to a stream and like, oh, he doesn't have a camera, so I'm not gonna watch. That's a good point. I don't know how much body language I have while I'm painting though. I'd have to get used to being on camera and talking. I'm kind of still just getting used to the whole talking and painting part, which has been strange but interesting. You're probably right. It seems like that's what I've heard too. It does seem like people expect it. It's just strange to me. You have been streaming longer than me though, haven't you? I think you said a few years or something. I suppose people do get attached more to a... Oh, yeah. People probably get more attached to the person streaming. It's more interesting to watch. Yeah. Yeah, all the major streamers are definitely using cameras. I'll have to do some research. I guess I'm not sure what my goals for my stream are. I suppose I probably should figure that out. Why don't you think you could stream, Mumbles? I definitely do like streaming because it gets me to do a finished painting when maybe I wouldn't. And it kind of gets me on a schedule too, which is really nice. I guess part of it's just to be social. I enjoy hanging out and whatnot. I gotta get some jungle leaf reference. I don't think I'm that great at conversation either, but as I space out and just not talk for a while, I just I'm alright at conversation for probably the first hour, maybe two, and then after that I just start spacing out. I guess I start just focusing on the painting more. I don't know what my plan was for these plants. Yeah, I wonder if the camera helps keep the streamer engaged more too. Like I'd probably be really shy a little bit more at first. Once I got over that, I'd probably be alright. So I know like the first few times I streamed, I was super nervous. I think you do fine streaming, Mumbles. You have a very likable personality. I almost think I'm more okay with seeing myself on camera than I am with hearing my own voice. I've had to draw myself a lot, so I think that might be why. I mean, when you look at me, mainly you'll just see beard anyways. It's meh. Well, I mean, if you don't say meh. Do all your friends stream games and such, or what? They all think they sound like a dumbass, or they tell you you sound like... It's kind of hard to talk. Well, it's hard to talk in art. It's also hard to talk in paint. I mean, hard to talk and play games as well. I'd assume. I've never tried streaming games before. Oh, they think that of themselves. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's basically like almost like hanging out with yourself in a weird way. You have to think of conversation and such. Yeah, that's true. I do the same thing when people start talking to me more. You'll see I just like kind of pause what I'm doing, come back to it, pause what I'm doing, come back to it. Yeah, you have to just be like, I'm getting off the stream. I'm not getting anything done. You can stream playing games, Mumbles. There's a lot of like kind of random games that are popular but aren't really being streamed that you could do. If I did stream a game, I'd probably stream Nulf. No One Lives Forever. Yeah, No One Lives Forever. So like a Bond type game with a female lead. I don't know how I'd handle like a super active chat. I can handle like a few people talking to me. But a ton, I don't know. Guess I'll talk that bridge when I get there. I think if you have a lot of people, you'd have to start of... if you have a lot of people, you have to sort of pick up on what the main conversation that's happening. Yeah, being bad at games is a good thing. That's a popular thing to stream. Being scared in a game, that seems pretty popular. What do you mean it becomes self-contained? They're probably so much into their routine of how they are on their streams, they don't have to. Oh yeah, that's true. It just sort of becomes its own creature, its own existence. Oh yeah, that's true. Like people come in and like, oh hey, what's going on? And then chat will answer the questions and stuff. Okay, yeah, that's true. I haven't really watched that many streamers. I guess maybe I should. I'd understand more what's going on. Oh, or they do specific callouts and stuff. I can't imagine 10,000 people watching me do anything. It's pretty insane. Then you need to have like chat monitor people or admins and stuff like that. Which I assume you have to have like X amount of people to even have the option to do admins. I don't know. Oh, can you? Either of you want to be an admin? Get in on the ground floor of my 12-person stream. Oh, it comes with a badge? Oh, man. Making it the big time. A sword? Oh, man. That's awesome. I have to figure out how to do that. I'll hook you guys up. Should probably ban that Mumbles guy. He's been causing a ruckus in here. Real hooligan. Really douching up this stream. It's not someone you want around these parts. Oh, wow. Someone just... Thanks for the host. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. I'll have to check out your work sometime. Oh no? I haven't really watched too many people paint on Twitch, so I don't really know. I guess I found my niche then. Oh, that was a bump in users. Or viewers, I mean. I still have to learn how to do the, how to host people and such. I'm so new to this. Twitch has been a really nice community so far. I've run into a lot of nice people. Eric, are you a landscape painter as well, or no? Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely host you when I can. Once I learn how. Thank you very much. I'm not much of a character artist, so I definitely need people around like you to paint the characters. I've tried it a few times, but it's just not my cup of tea, I guess. Yeah, sometimes I wish I could be better at characters, and I know I could get better if I just painted them more, but I feel like it's either focus on environments or characters. So I figure I'll stick with environments because I enjoy them. That's how I am with characters. I just like I sit down and I'm like, I think I could probably paint a character. It's sort of a depressing experience because I'm just like, oh, this is so bad. So yeah, I'll just stay away from it. And then sometimes I'll go back and do the environment stuff, and I'm like, ah, now I'm just thinking about how terrible I was when I was painting that character. So it sort of just makes me worse at everything. Explosions mask everything. That's like with landscapes, you just put clouds behind everything, and that masks everything. If you can't think of something to paint, just do like a basic environment, throw some clouds in the background, you're good to go. I actually did a few without clouds. It's a scary thing. Just painting grass forever. I should really make a grass brush that I like. I have a few, I just don't really like them. Just end up using chalk 4 for everything. Oh, that reminds me, I was going to put my brush pack up on Patreon. I had to make it legible. It's all terribly titled and stuff right now. Yeah, you kind of have to just like paint it from the back and come forward. It's got to put some explosions over your grass, and then no one will see the grass. I kind of do a mixture of like every strand, and then sometimes I'll just kind of do like a sort of jagged edge like that, and then come back in and paint some strands. Just put lens flares over the glass or grass. Do a lot of little grass scribblies. Sort of strands, sort of not. I heard there's new YouTube rules, you can't swear? That's crazy. That can't be true. I don't know if they're gonna have like a rating system or something. Has anyone else heard about that? I mean, that's like half the people on YouTube seem like that's kind of their thing. Like Game Grumps and stuff. That's what they do. They swear so much. If they get rid of swearing on YouTube, YouTube would just goes down the next day. No more videos on YouTube. It's like banned for swearing. I wonder if Twitch. Well, it seems like that'd be hard to stop people from swearing on Twitch. Are they have like a cursing algorithm? It's going to be like Overwatch? What do you mean? Like a group of heroes that'll watch over all the different streams and make sure no one swears? Is that what you mean? Oh, do they really? Yeah, I think the chalk brush is a Photoshop default. I think it's under like maybe natural brush. No, dry brushes, dry media brushes. Perhaps this might be a modified version of it. Kind of looks like a state or something. That's a good way to handle profanity. That would be funny if they had like voice alteration things so it could change audio. Someone's like, damn it. And they're just like, I like to eat cheese. Get in the mother fancying car. That's actually a pretty funny way to handle swearing. You can turn that on and off though, right? I think in Overwatch you get to choose if you want a profanity filter or not. I keep meaning to play the what is it? Not the. It's like the open beta, not open beta. I don't know, where they test a lot of the server stuff on Overwatch, where they have all the newer maps and stuff. Well, the new map. Whoops, that's wrong. Last time I played, it was just they just fill it with asterisks, I think. They must have added that feature. It makes me want to go and play Overwatch now. And just like turn on the profanity filter and make people upset or something. Or I guess if you just swear yourself, it would probably do that too. That's so funny. Hey, thanks, Eric. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll add you and whatnot, and I'll try to do the share stream thing for you as well. Enjoy that grub. Thanks for stopping by. And keep painting characters. Oh, it's disgusting. He eats food. Oh man, I just made a tangent. There's probably tons of tangents, but that one bothers me. Do you paint too much? I was just eating some banana bread earlier, fresh out of the oven. So damn good. If I could share it on the stream, I would. It's past my bed. Oh, that's so good. That sounds like something like Team Fortress would do. Like, imagine the heavy weapons guy or something saying that. That'd be great. Xbox Live needs that now. I probably should work on the background a little bit. We need some lines like that for the characters too. I was just looking at the concept art for the new Overwatch level that was in the Bastion trailer with the castle and stuff. Oh, it's so beautiful. The art's really nice too. I was super excited because my art showed up next to the artist that did that on ArtStation. It made my day. I wonder if for the Overwatch show profanity thing, if they have specific phrases for specific swears. Be kind of interesting. It's probably just random. Mumbles, do you know if does it do it if like the whole sentence is full of swear words, or does it do it if it just one thing is said? Oh, so it just takes, if they're a bad-mannered player, it just starts overwriting what they're saying. Okay. It's weird, my tablet's kind of messing up here and there. It's like the sort of jumping when I'm drawing. It's weird. Kind of spaced out there for a minute. Yeah, I need to download the update for Overwatch. Maybe I'll try to play some tonight. Take a break from Arton for a little bit. Did anyone watch the Nintendo Direct for the 3DS? I was hoping that they would have an announcement for maybe a new... Well, I guess they had one new title at the end. But it didn't look the most interesting to me. Thank you, Gorilla Llama. I think that's what it looks like. Yeah, I appreciate it. Trying to get some shadows on these leaves back here. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Let me know if you have any questions. Probably need to put some grass in front of this a little bit. Maybe some right here. Build up some layers, this in front, in the foreground. I'll probably add a little bit more later on. Keep avoiding the mountain back there. I gotta paint over that. I probably should do that before I get too far on everything else. I'm already pretty far on everything else. Yeah, I think I'll jump back there and do some background work. Let's see. Oops. I think, where's my, there we go, grass layer. Might shift the colors of the grass a little bit in the background and see what works better. I kind of like that a little bit better. Maybe I'll add a little bit of blue to it. Eh. That's fine for now. Gotta take a look at a mountain or something for reference really quick. There we go. I think I'll do a soft light layer and just start kind of, oops, gotta get a darker color. Start applying some more light hitting this mountain back here. Get some more texture in there. Maybe use a different brush. This is like a yeah, there we go. I still have to go in and push all that background area back using some atmospheric perspective and such. I don't know. It's I think it's kind of an innate thing. I really push just complementary colors a lot. I don't use too many complicated colors, really, is the main thing. I always stick with pretty simple stuff, and that seems to help a lot. I actually might have put this backwards. Let me flip this over. Yeah, I just like really vibrant colors. And I always, I don't really paint over grayscale stuff. I always start with a direct color. So I always want to have, if I do the grayscale thing, it seems like stuff just comes out muddy. Oh, oh, that's why it's messing up. Wait, no. Yeah, that's why. I had a curves layer and I had it tagged to the wrong thing. Oh, that's a cool idea. Like just like a messed up picture or something. I color pick a lot from my older work. Sometimes I'll do that, or if I just find like some reference or something that, like a photo that has a really nice color in it. But for the most part, I tend to use a lot of similar colors. You'll notice I'm kind of pretty partial to blue. But yeah, usually I just kind of like I'll pull up this or have a color wheel off on the side and use that as a reference point. Or start with kind of natural colors and sort of push into some other unnatural colors or less used and common colors. But complementary colors is usually where I stick to. Let's go back, do some more. I'm actually going to pull some of this blue sky and just start hitting it on the mountain a little bit. Might stack it on. Whoop, wait, did I do that right? Oh, I've got to put a layer mask on it. That other person you were talking about, Grill Llama, was for the glitch stuff. Where did they just like try to corrupt files, or how'd they get those glitched pictures? Because it sounds like a really neat way to come up with different colors than you might normally use. I usually have a key color in mind when I start painting. So I'll be like, oh, predominantly pink or something like that. Like I know I've gone back and looked at my portfolio and been like, you know, I have too many paintings of this color, so I'm going to do a painting that's predominantly pink or predominantly orange or something like that. And that'll influence what I end up painting or something along those lines. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'll have to check that out. Not exactly sure what I should do with this background. Just trying to break it up. I want to have it look like it's sort of like water running down at some point. Kind of created these cracks. And I want it to be a lot simpler than the foreground because I'm just going to end up going over it with a lot of fog, so we're not going to see too much of it. Wonder where my, is this my, I was trying to find another brush that I use, but I moved it recently, so I'm not sure where it's at. Is it? I'll just stick with what I was using. Oh, maybe this is it. No. Shouldn't be too much longer. Well, I'm getting pretty far along, so I guess I have probably an hour left, maybe, if I had to guess. There's some things back there that look a little funky. I don't really like the way that was painted there. Probably should break this area up a little bit more. I want this to look like broken stone, but it looks more just like cracked stone right now. Get a little bit of light hitting these back here, so they look too flat. Is everyone having a good Thursday night? I have a big storm coming where I'm living, which is the bad news, but the good news is I have tomorrow off. So hopefully nothing goes too badly. With the storm, that is. Thank you. Do you have any snow up in your parts yet, Mumbles? Only 5 feet. Hopefully you're joking. I don't know if I could handle that super northern weather anymore. I've grown accustomed to living in the south. Gotta break this up a little bit. Want to look like it's like segmented and kind of like it's grown together, it's just formed, it's been spinning, sitting here for ages. Oops. I'm getting to the end of my stream where I start getting quieter. Sort of forget to talk. Been looking at mics to pick up so I can get a better mic. Boost my quality a little bit. So right now I'm just using kind of a generic headset, I believe. Well, yeah. Seems like everyone recommends the Blue Yeti as a good starter mic. But I've heard some differing opinions. Gonna do an overlay layer. Oops. I'm gonna put some grass on here. The blue snowball. Oh yeah, I think I did see the blue snowball. So that's pretty good audio. Yeah, I added a bunch to my wish list on Amazon. And I just gotta figure out which one to actually get. Maybe I'll make it one of my Patreon goals. Once I hit X amount of Patreons, buy a new mic. Is that a, what do they call them? Compressor mics? Yeah, I wanted to get one for, mainly for my tutorial videos and for my stream. But yeah. We'll see what I end up going with. So many wildly different opinions on what's the best mic to get for streaming and for recording and stuff. Oh man, sorry. Try, yeah, condenser mic. You could, I'm streaming on YouTube as well, and that might help you out. Here, I'll post the link for you. I had a friend of mine said it was easier for him to watch it on there. Oh, and for anyone watching on YouTube, I'm sorry if I don't see your questions or anything. I'm trying to check over once in a while, but it's hard to focus on two chats and a painting. I'll have to figure out a way to filter the stream into one, if that's even possible. Potato internet. That is probably the best way to refer to internet that I've ever heard. For slow internet, that is. I understand your pain. I grew up with 56K for so long, and it only connected at 28, and that was until even like 2000. I don't know. I can't remember. 2005 or something. So I guess it's been a while now, but it's so bad. It was so bad. It seems like a recent memory. Just kind of trying to get a better texture going on a lot of these guys here. I think I intended just looked at my sketch for the original drawing, for the original piece, and I intended these areas to be broken up more. So I'm going to break that up a bit more. That's one thing I don't like about working with layers, when you get like to a point like this where I know I'm going to put atmospheric fog and stuff in the background, so I can't I have to mask this out, but I have like different layers and stuff, so it kind of makes it ordeal. Because I could just paint it higher and just kind of trick it. Yeah, it's starting to look better. Though the crack is a little too straight. Have it kind of run along the carving a little bit there, and then run back out. Maybe have it break off in a different direction here as well. Oh, that's gonna be a weird tangent if I do that. Some more grass growing in here. Thanks for everyone that stopped by the YouTube stream as well. I don't think I even promoted that I was going to be on the stream, so I appreciate checking that one out. It's actually the first time it's just more of a test on YouTube. The first time I put it up there. Just in time for the supposed this profanity filters that they're going to be engaging, I guess. Maybe Twitch is the better platform. It's kind of surprising how easy it is to export videos out from Twitch to YouTube, because I thought they'd be more competitors, or more enemies, I guess you would say. Trying to get these leaves to look a little less flat. Just be like maybe they got hit by just a tiny bit of lights casting over them. I like when everything's like in dark and then you have just a tiny bit of light casting across an object. Just gonna break those undersides up a little bit. It's a little bit too dark. There we go. Maybe even just a little brighter. Let's see, gonna go into the background. Let's see, background. And you can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm just organizing some stuff, making a new folder. And I'm gonna put all the mountain bits back there. Just keep it organized, because I wanna change the shape of. Wait. Oh, there we go. I made the folder within a folder. I gotta back out another folder. Okay, wait, I'll put this, slide it down one. Hey, I gotta undo that. It didn't make any sense. Put all that into a folder. Got lost in my own folders on the side here. I have those all on my other screen, so I usually don't head over there too much. Paint a few more and sharper shadows back here. I'll have to separate that so there. So once I get the atmospheric fog in there, the pillars and whatnot won't blend in as much with the background. I usually save that for the very end. Well, not the very, very end, but when I'm about 90% done, jump in there and start doing the atmospheric stuff. And then I'll usually do a lighting pass. Kind of push the lighting a little further than it is. I'll have a few change in directionality, and whoop, that's a little, well, yeah, it's a little too bright. Could do some trees back here, but I kind of want to keep it sort of barren looking. Let's get a little bit of texture. So it looks like maybe smaller, bushier plants are growing off on the side of this hill. But some of it can't quite cling on because of erosion and water drainage and stuff. Okay, let's see. Atmosphere. I'm gonna try doing a layer of atmosphere first. I'm gonna set it to soft light and grab the sky blue here and make it a little bit brighter and kind of give it like that, just that tint of blue of like the light and the moisture just in the ground sort of passing out behind everything. And that's already helping that tie the scene together a lot more. So if we turn it on and off, especially right here, this shadow, this nice blue shadow looks great. Hit there a little bit too. Kind of like all the moisture in the air between you and the shadow that's being cast. So now I have that. I'm going to do another atmospheric, but this one's going to be a little more smoky looking. Or softer, I guess. I'm going to get my banana brush. Turn up the saturation. Make this really big. I'm going to do just a bunch of layers like this. This first layer is kind of going to be like this sort of lower hanging moisture in the air. And it looks a little too extreme right now. I'm actually going to take that. Actually, I'm going to use opacity. I was using fill. And just a subtle layer like that. Now I actually might go in and do a layer over top all of this. Let's see. Select that. Select that. And then I think where was it? No, I got decent. No, wait. Yeah, that's right. So I'm actually going to do an atmospheric layer over everything. That's going to be the top layer, but really this is just going to be... You don't understand the banana brush? It's a very strange brush. It's like, so what it's doing, it's just spinning a bunch. And right now I just want to push this stuff back a little bit. I'm going to put the brush setting a little lower. And kind of see, like, I want this to have a little more depth to it. So push that back, and I'm just going to erase this foreground bit. Same with right here. And that pillar behind everything there, that needs to be pushed quite a bit back. And go in and erase the foreground bits. I should have just kept this on a different layer. Let's make that a little easier. But I was a little bit lazy and didn't. Just go through and erase. Maybe just a tiny bit right here. So you can see the banana brush just jumping all over the place. I'm just going to grab the opacity, slide it all the way down, and just sort of slide it up until I believe I have like an appropriate amount. That looks pretty good. And now I'm going to go back to the other atmosphere layer and maybe do one more atmosphere layer. Let's turn down the opacity on that one. I'm actually going to do try a color pass, color balance layer. I'm just going to test some stuff out. So I'm going to shifting that a little more blue. I don't know. I'll do it later. Looked a little weird over everything. I'm gonna go over this stuff again because it's not broken up enough. It's still too much just masses of stone. I gotta get the right color though. I think it's gonna be like a high saturation green, but really dark. It's kind of running along in these cracks here. Oh, for the questions on YouTube, yeah, I'll keep streaming on YouTube. It's pretty easy to keep streaming on both. And my layers, I have them just off screen to the right a little bit. I have my tablet. I'm actually using just a normal tablet, not a Cintiq or anything. So when I go off screen, I'm just going over there and grabbing my layers. Well, I'm glad people like the stream being on YouTube as well. I didn't know if anyone would show up for that one. I'm glad it's getting some use. I'd been wanting to do it for a while. I just hadn't known until the other day and figured it out. Go in here and just hit that with a little bit of brightness. Ooh, that looks nice. I like that. Yeah, it's starting to break it up nicely. This brush is a really nice like texture brush that I'm using. It has like a really cool spackle to it. Super cool. I do need to get back in here and get a few foreground strokes going. I have done the no layer thing before, but I'm not that Rambo enough to do that. It's, well, I mean I could, but you end up with a more of a painterly feel if you do, so I guess get a little less, we get more focus honestly on the painting. It has its downfalls. Like the downfall is when you go to do like the atmospheric stuff, you have to like mask out everything, and that can get super annoying. That's the biggest reason I do a decent amount of layers. Also, it's kind of nice doing layers because then you can kind of pull your painting apart and see what the process was. I like going through and breaking it into a process video and stuff. Helps me get a better idea of like what I did right, what I did wrong, things like that. And here I'm just doing like my selection trick to do. There we go. Some foreground grass. That's backwards. I need the light to come from that side. Whoops, wrong color. I did go to school for this. I actually went to school for illustration. So not exactly concept art and not really exactly environment painting, but just illustration in general. Depending on what you want to do with it, I don't know if I'd recommend going to school for it though. Probably the biggest benefit I got out of going to school was meeting a lot of other artists. And kind of, you know, making a group of artist friends as well. But as far as what I learned there, I don't know. If you're a driven person, I guess it depends if you're driven or not. If you are driven, you could definitely learn this stuff without going to school, just with a lot of dedication. But most of my improvements came out after I probably went to school and just working in the field. I've been working as a concept artist for, well, professionally for 3 years. I mean, amateurly, I don't know, more years than that. I'm gonna reference one of my older paintings for this cube thing. Just gotta find him on my reference board. I have it like so the cube is actually kind of the light's fading or something. This side's just, there's not enough information there. If you look, you see it's like a pure brightness, which it's okay, but there's such a low amount of color or hue in there right now, so I just want to pump that up. I'm probably gonna hit it with some like color dodge and stuff anyways, and it's gonna be even brighter, so then there wouldn't be any information even left there. So I just need to go over it, make sure I'll actually have enough information for the next phase. So I want to do this overlay effect. I think I'll use overlay, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, I'm kind of just scribbling, and then I'm going to go up and do a filter and a motion blur. Sort of like maybe it's phasing or something. And then I'm actually gonna do that again. I'm gonna do another one and just like a bunch of scribbles like this. Hit it with that motion blur again. Move it down a little bit over here. Just kind of break it up. Scribble, scribble, motion blur, scribble, motion blur. Okay, now I have kind of like a nice line piece that I can take, and I can put this to like a color dodge or color. Yeah, I'll do color dodge. I sort of want like these trails shooting across, like beams shooting across the light. This is sort of to tie this in with another painting I did. Spin it around. Lower the opacity a little bit. Whoops, that's fill. And now, let's see. I'll do another layer. And this one I'm just gonna do, I can do a little bit of a motion blur. Spin it a little bit. Really, I just wanted that just to be kind of a blur. Shoot through the different layers. Maybe pump up the saturation a little. It's on linear dodge right now. I'm going to put it back down to color dodge. So you can see it has a little bit more of a light to it. I'm going to have that. This I'm actually going to use, I'm going to start hitting the environment with a little bit of light. There's really none projecting onto anything. So just a little bit of rim light here and there. Plants and things. Yeah, it's starting to look more like it's actually in the environment. Another way you could do this is just kind of grab these faces, do quick selections of them. Bloop. Do like a really low opacity gradient over it. I'm just going to have it sort of like, imagine this layer is a little bit further out. Maybe it just did a tiny bit of this edge is getting hit with light. And it's actually kind of perfect that my hand's a little shaky on this, and you know, I'm getting even more edge variation. See how I can look, if you look before and after, that's already starting to look like it's kind of tied into this world. Okay, that's pretty good for the cube. I'm going to title this group layer. This is going to be just like cube light. Make sure and save it. I'm actually going to go back to my sky really quick. And I want to just tweak the color to see if I can get a... Man, I think that color works. Well, yeah, I kind of like the little bit less of a direct blue on the sky. I'm going to go back to my top layer and do another group, and I'm going to call this one light pass. I'm going to put a layer in there, and I'm going to do overlay. And grab a super soft brush. And I'm going to... Actually, I'm going to take this layer and put the cube light layer. Yeah, and get a little bit of... Yeah. It's actually probably a better layer to use than whatever I was using before. Because it's giving me that nice kind of luminescence. So you can see kind of the before and after without the special effects and with the special effects. Anyways, going to go back and go in my light pass folder, and I want to grab the green just as a starting point, and I'm going to put this to overlay. I'm going to shift it up to really high brightness. I'm actually going to go into a little bit of a blue. And I'm just kind of hitting some areas that I want to brighten up a bit. I'm going to actually desaturate a bunch now too. And I'm going to maybe go into the yellows slightly. And sort of pick some points to really pull the light out that I want to focus in on. This stairway area, that's definitely one of them. I'm going to shift back into the blue a little since we're in the shadow here. Just brighten up this area because it's in shadow, but it's going to get a lot of bounce light from the sky. Basically, I'm just going to get rid of some of these shadows that are too dark. And that would have a little bit more blue in them from just bounce light. I can take a little before and after look. It's starting to come together a little bit better. Go back to, I don't know, that might be too bright. Kind of have these stones sort of pointing in the direction we want to go. I want the character or the viewer to see. It's kind of a unifying light, like I kind of just hit a little bit everywhere. It's strange when you turn it on and off, like here, if you watch it pop on and off, it's like, oh, maybe that's too much, I don't know. Actually gonna tone this first one down just a bit. I'm gonna do one more. Just right there, because I really want that shadow to be, or that light where people just really see that spot. Although that might be a little too, no, there's still information there, it's fine. I do want to hit this side with it just a little bit. And kind of break that up. That's pretty good. Now I want to add a particle pass. Actually use like a 6-sided thing for this. And I'm going to turn off the pressure sensitivity. And I think that's giving me a solid, yeah, it's giving me a nice solid line. I might set that to, let's try color dodge out. We'll do these in blue. Just trying some different layer types. And yeah, color dodge is the best one to go with. Basically, I'm just doing manually changing the brush size with the brackets and just kind of dabbing a few things here and there. Just this upper area, I want these lights to be kind of like this, or these particles. So these are going to be the cube particles. I'm going to do another layer, and these are going to be like the sunlight particles. So I want these to be like a yellow tinge to them. We'll do color dodge, particles, sunlight. I guess technically it would be the dust particles. But these have too much saturation. There we go. Thanks, Nate. It's getting there. A lot of times I just use my mouse for this part. It actually works a little bit better. Or if I make like a few that I like, I'll just select them and duplicate and spin and erase and stuff like that. Or just grab the whole bunch of them. Spin them, duplicate them, erase out a bunch. I want like some bigger ones, right? There, whoa, that's way too yellow. I think it's interacting with the other lights that I did. And then you can just grab like a few random ones. Oh, wait. Grab a few random ones, put them back in place, go to blur, motion blur. Where are they? Oh wait, they're blurring way too much. Blur, motion blur, and then just a tiny bit, add a little bit of movement to them. It's those details. I think I mentioned Legend of Zelda like every time I do these particles. It's like, it's what inspires me to do little floaty bits. It's actually probably a few too many. Just go out and take a few out. I might actually... I had some sun shafts I did one of my other pieces. I think I'm just going to grab those and use them again to remember which piece they were in. I believe it was Overgrown Dungeon. And let's see, where is it? I'm just going to take this whole layer and duplicate it over to my other painting. Gold Navi. I did. Well, it was an oh, you mean like interior? I did one that was sort of interior. There was a door, and the light was streaming in. I think that's what I did last week. I don't even know if this is actually the right streams. I thought I had some better ones. Let's see if I can find them. Oh yeah, it was this one, I bet. I think I like the light beams I did better in this one. Let's see. Doesn't count as an interior. Okay. I'll do an interior. Don't get your UVs in a bunch. Ooh, that was a terrible joke. I had some layer mask on these that I'm just removing. There's those light rays, and then there's those. I think I like the new ones better. Yeah, I really should do another interior. Well, more of an interior. Maybe I'll try to do that next time. Forgot to switch my brush. feel like it might be a little bit too much. Kind of there, it's getting a little bit burnt out. I think it's this one that's doing it. That's a little bit better. You know, I might do some birds back here too. Some M's, V's, and W's. Thank you, Drizzt. Just have them kind of. Let's see. Oh yeah, need to do a vignette. I think it's pretty much done then. Well, before I forget, let me do my signature. I was gonna make a tutorial on how to make custom shapes sometime, I think. Excuse me. Oops. Why didn't it show up? There we go. Okay, now I'll do my vignette. Whenever I type vignette, I'm always like vignette. It's always spelled out the way it looks. Such a strange word. Oops, forgot to set that to multiply. Actually, I'm going to go back to the pillars, grab that selection, and do a layer. Wait, oops. set it to multiply. I'm basically just going to add some darkness to these pillars. Gradient going dark to light. It's kind of fun to play around with. Set a light to dark. And I might go back and do that to the mountains as well. Set it to multiply. Grab mountains. Go back to my, was it this one? Might be a little too much. Go back to my vignette. Okay, now I'm just going to do a color balance layer. Figure out where I want to go with this. Super green. I think I like a little bit better with that. Now I'm going to do a curve layer. Just adjust these slightly. Current layer and below. It's a neat trick. You can actually, if you have a bunch of layers over something and you want to go back and tweak something, if you go to your eyedropper, you can actually select where you're sampling from. Multiple layers, behind layers, in front of layers. Super useful if you're painting with like texture overlays and things like that. I just noticed I didn't really like how straight this edge was looking back here. Here, I just noticed I didn't finish some of these stairs. Didn't finish a bunch of these stairs. Why did nobody tell me? No, it's kidding. Yeah, I think I'm gonna buy a mic next, or at least start saving up towards one. A better mic, that is. Okay, I think it's done. Let's see. Select all. Do this. Let's do a little bit of sharpen. Yeah, I think I'm done. Well, I wanted to get a better mic for recording audio for tutorials. Just so I could have some better audio for that. It tends to pick up a lot of background noise and stuff. But yeah, thanks to everyone who stopped by. I'd really appreciate it if you could check out my Patreon and help support me doing more of these paintings. And it's been great having everyone here. There's a link to my Patreon if you want to check it out. If not, that's fine. I'm just glad people stop by and say hello. It's nice chatting and everything. And I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think of the painting. I'll probably post it up on ArtStation pretty soon here. My YouTube, I just started it. Let me pull it up really quick for you guys. It's the same name, Random Spirits, but there's a link to it. And I'm actually streaming on there, and I should be streaming on there at the same time as Twitch from now on too. But yeah, I have some of my past paintings I did just sped up. Thanks, Danny. Thanks for stopping by. This one turned out okay. It's not one of the better ones, but I'm pretty happy with it. Something a little bit off about the color though. But yeah, let me know if you have any more questions, or maybe if there's any kind of tutorials or anything you guys would like to see. I'm planning on bringing those to YouTube. Some small ones probably to start with, just to kind of dip my toes in the tutorial waters. But yeah, thanks again, and everyone have a great night, and thanks for stopping by. Take care.